Right now, I'm 9 weeks into my cut and I'm 7 kilos of fat down. I've gone from 82 kilos to 75 kilos and I've done it without losing muscle mass. These are the 3 rules that I follow to drop fat fast without looking flat or skinny. Let's get stuck into it. Rule numero uno is prioritize protein. Make sure you are hitting your protein targets every day, no excuses. Now, yes, this is very important whilst you're in a gaining phase, but it's even more important when you're in a cutting phase because we want to make sure that we can maintain as much muscle tissue as we can as we strip back the body fat. I'm currently aiming for anywhere between sort of 160 to 170 grams per day because I'm weighing in at around 75 kilos right now. So we're aiming for around a gram of protein per pound of body weight. Protein is going to help keep you full as you cut fat, right? Because when you are cutting, you are going to be hungry. It's also going to help build and maintain muscle tissue, and it's also going to help you recover. Remember, your recovery is going to be slower when you've got less calories in the body, because at the end of the day, calories are a unit of energy. The less energy we have in the body, the less energy we have to recover. So protein is going to help you stay fuller for longer, it's going to help maintain muscle tissue, and it's going to help your recovery too. In the past, I haven't tracked my protein as tightly when I've been in a cutting phase, and I have lost a lot of muscle mass because of this. So now every single time I enter a fat loss phase, I make sure that my protein is absolutely nailed. So make sure that you track your fucking protein if you want to maintain that muscle mass that you've built and you don't want to end up looking like Slender Man come the end of your cut. Rule numero dos is train like you are bulking. So many people start training like an absolute pussy as soon as they go into a fat loss phase. Start going lighter, start going higher reps, and essentially just not working as hard in the gym. Do not change how you train. I mean, if you train like a pussy right now, definitely change it. But point is, do not change how you train. If you're training hard right now, make sure you continue to train hard during your cutting phase. The reason you want to make sure that you're still training hard is because obviously we still want to maintain muscle mass. And of course, we still want to try and build as much muscle as we can in this cutting phase. And if you're not actively pushing yourself as hard as you can and you're not actively progressively overloading still, right? You're giving your body no reason to hold on to that muscle tissue. I've just mentioned there about aiming to progressively overload. That will be tough in a cutting phase. So you want to aim to progress, or at the very least try and maintain your strength as you go through your cutting phase. Naturally, it might drop off a little bit, but we still want to make sure that exercise intensity is super high. Otherwise, like I said, you're giving your body no reason to hold onto that muscle mass. And it brings me on to my point from rule numero uno, is that you will end up looking like Slender Man if you're not pushing yourself hard enough in the gym, because you will lose muscle tissue. If anything, I get even more dialed in with my training when I'm in a cutting phase, because I want to make sure that I maintain the muscle mass that I've built through a gaining phase, and I essentially want to make sure that all the hard work that I've put on this muscle doesn't go to waste. So make sure that you're still pushing yourself in the gym and you're not training like a pussy. And rule numero tres, no dos tres, tres. Yes, I thought I was going French for a second there, is do not go too aggressive with your calorie deficit. You don't need to go crazy aggressive with it to try and drop as much fat as you can, as quick as you possibly can. I aim to drop around kind of 0.5 to a kilo per week. And if I'm anywhere within that range, I'm pretty happy. So I aim for kind of a 500 to 600 calorie deficit daily. It's enough to shift body fat fast. I don't have crazy amounts of cravings. Yes, I do feel tired every now and then, but it's not to the point where I feel like absolute death warmed up. If you're pushing a 1000 calorie deficit daily, then yes, sure, the weight will fly off, but you'll look and feel like shit, and you'll most likely lose more muscle than you realize. Also, if you take the calorie deficit too aggressive initially, your adherence is gonna be absolutely awful, because you go from a point whereby perhaps you've been in the gaining phase, or perhaps you've been eating at maintenance. If you slash those calories too quickly, then your adherence is going to be completely off it. You're not going to stick to it. So start small with your deficit, and then you can increase it over time. I didn't start off my deficit being sort of 500 to 600 calories in a deficit. I've built to that point over the course of the previous 9 weeks or so. Other things to be wary of to make sure that you maintain as much muscle as you can whilst you drop body fat. Number one, do not start smashing the cardio, all right? So I would go low intensity, steady state cardio and just aim to hit 10 to 15K steps a day. If you start smashing your cardio, you will probably lose more muscle mass than you want, and you'll also feel quite fatigued and probably pretty ravenous when it comes to food. The more cardio you do, the more high intense cardio you do, the hungrier you're gonna become, the less likely you're gonna stick to your deficit. And also another point with regards to nutrition is make sure that you're still supplementing creatine. A lot of people will ask me, oh Jono, do I only take creatine when I'm trying to put on size? No, take it when you're cutting too. As remember, In short, creatine helps increase your stores of ATP. Without sounding like a science nerd, that stands for adenosine triphosphate.
Yes, science!
And if we increase our stores of ATP, in short, we have more energy for recovery, for performance in the gym, for growth. All right, so make sure that you are still supplementing creatine. Cool, so let's do a quick recap, all right? So 3 main things to consider when you are trying to lose fat and then make sure that you hold onto as much muscle as you possibly can. Number 1, make sure you are prioritizing protein. Number 2, make sure you are not training like a pussy. Number 3, make sure that you don't take the calorie deficit too aggressive initially. Start small and build upon that calorie deficit as the weeks go on. And then the few extra points that I mentioned, cardio-wise, prioritize low-intensity, steady-state cardio and steps. And also with regards to supplementing creatine, make sure that you are still supplementing creatine even whilst on a fat loss phase. Hopefully this video was helpful, and if it was, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, drop the video a like, and I'll catch you in the next one.